I should have done a time-lapse thing with this because it takes a long time. Anyway, I'm stripping stuff, right? So I have this pitboss 2 for Rick. Anyway, these plates are horrible. They're awful, ugly. People like them polished. He wants them polished and anodized a different color, which is not a problem, but pain in the ass because they're like a blasted finished and then they're plated with this ugly 24K. Don't look at my awful looking fingernails because I work with my hands. Anyway, I'm doing one of these plates now, and then of course these things are the same thing too. This is an NPI frame, so it doesn't have that pitboss etching on the back. I guess they just didn't do that for those. But anyway, I've been doing this for it's been in about there for 10 minutes or so. You can see all the chunks of the plating coming off, and the machine is going crazy. It takes a long time. Anyway, I just thought, well, I made the water dirty, and I'm going to dispose of the water anyway. This is after about 10 minutes. See how it strips off the gold with no sanding, and it gets it off everywhere. That's the best part. Anyway, that pizza's almost done. That piece is almost done, not pizza. Boy, one-track mind. Anyway, it will drop down to 0 volts. Sorry, 0 amps and up to 90 volts. I don't need to do that all that way. And it will melt plastic, the wire, because there's so much electricity. As you can see, I did that last time on my little container here that I use for stripping stuff. Anyway, I'm just going to let it go. It'll start speeding up once all the etching is off. Don't let it touch the ground, because that will spark, like it just did there. You can see it's bubbling in there. It's just basically stripping everything off. That's the beauty of electricity. Anyway, it's getting there. So that's the same thing as that carbon frame that I showed you. It just takes 5 times as long or more. The carbon, polished carbons and carbon Juliets and things like that, the matte carbons too, they strip in minutes, like seconds, sorry, like 10-15 seconds they'll strip in. These take about maybe 5 minutes a plate, maybe 10 minutes a plate. The water gets really hot as well because the current's going through it so much and it's trying to go through it so quickly. It will get hot, so you do bear in mind. I don't know if it gets boiling point, but that's just oxygen coming out of the water. Anyway, so it's almost done, this plate, and then I will show you the start of another plate in this video, just so you guys can see. I think I will. It might just take too long, but anyway, what I do is I'm anodizing all these parts that I have, because I have a couple double X's for people that they want polished. I polish things first, and then I anodize them, and then I etch them off. Basically, like I take my etching solution that you need to use to get color in your frames. I use that, and then I basically bring that up to boiling point. I have some stuff that it doesn't work as well anymore, so I use that, anodize it, and then I etch it off. And it just seems, the polish job just seems so much better once it's been anodized and etched again. It just looks really nice. So I usually do that as a process in my polishing. That's how I get more of a mirror finish quicker. I don't know, I just enjoy doing that. I think it's like a little technique that I've learned over the time. Anyway, so this is almost done. As you can see, it's up to 74 volts. And those amps will drop down to 0, but I don't think we need to let it get that way. I was hoping I would be able to, but I could always do that next video. Our next plate, you can see, is starting to go green. These plates, for some reason, I think because they're low-grade titanium, they will not, especially the pitboss ones, they will not, for some reason, anodize all the way to the top end of the spectrum. So like greens and purples and stuff. I can get the lower end, blues and dark blues and golds and stuff like that. I think it must be the grade of titanium, like it's a lower grade titanium. I'm not too sure. Anyway, I'll just show you in this video what this does with the plate here. You saw it in the first part there, but this plate here. So I'll put it in the water. It's the acid bath, basically. Battery acid and deionized water. Anyway, you take your... I've got the wires backwards, remember. And then it will basically boil off, as you can see, the plating, which is super neat. Another thing I stumbled across, right? Same thing as the polished carbons. Like I said, it just takes polished and matte carbons. It just takes 5 times as long, but definitely way easier than spending, you know, 45 minutes each plate trying to get the 2,4K finish off. Yes, it's ugly because it's blasted too, but now it's just, I'll do a nice sand on that, and then I will etch it, re-anodize it, and then sand it again, and then etch it again. And then it'll be ready for polish. These plates cannot be buffed with a Dremel when you're polishing. They have to be done by hand. So you have to literally do it with a cloth or some sort of really fine polishing material, something. It doesn't matter the polish, whatever polish you use, Mother's or Autosol or whatever you want to use, it doesn't matter. But you have to, with these, you have to do it by hand. Same with the pitboss ones are worse. These are better. It's like the titanium got better, but the pitboss ones are the worst. But anyway, these aren't so bad. So Rick's been waiting a while for these, so I might as well strip them and at least now and start polishing them at some point today or tomorrow. Anyway, I'm just bored and lazy at home. But you see it's melting the plastic here, the current going through the wire. Kind of crazy, if we can focus. Focus, please. There we go. It's not a big deal, whatever. And it's not super hot to touch, which is odd. But anyway, I guess there's just so much current running through it. We'll pull it out, so let's see. Yeah, you can see it's kind of starting to... That wire is really hot. You can see it's starting to change color, and it's starting to rip it off the ends. Anyway, that's how you strip plating stuff from Oakley. It works well. Anyway, thanks again.